All right, welcome everybody. Hey, I set up a little bit different. I'm down here now. I hope you can see me. But I figured, of course, it would be a lot easier if we drew on the table. I hope you have your stuff on the table nice and flat. But just looking at this a couple minutes ago, it looks fantastic from just that little bit that we had. We had really nothing yesterday when we started. And look at this already, right? We're on our third hour, and we have all this detail in here today. You know what I think we'll do is we're going to work a little bit up in here in this area here, and this will be all that background trees and everything. I hope this is set up good for you. So see, what I want to do is I'm going to come right in here, and let's start from the top. Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Steve Pascucci. Welcome to this week's After the News. And if you're anything like me, I haven't been watching the news, getting updates, but I can't watch it all the time anymore. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to stagger these in on that hill. And remember, in between, right, we want to show that this hill is going, we want to show a little bit more hill. This one is kind of flat, is okay, but maybe just show a little bit of the hill in the background, right? And you can do all this stuff. It doesn't matter. And you could even go right on top of that because it's only drawing, right? So there is no right or wrong. But if you have something like this, of course, you don't want to put this on top of that. You want to do this first. So we draw from the front to the back. We paint from back to front, okay? And I think Monday what we'll do is we'll go back to painting. I enjoy drawing, but I think I enjoy drawing more for me because I don't know if you're getting a lot. I mean, I love what I'm seeing, and you guys are doing great. But I'm not sure if it's exciting enough because this just takes time. Okay, just takes time. Then we talked about this in here. Did you work on this at all yesterday? So now let's not even go over here. Let's go back up to the tree, and let's just work on some of this. Now, see what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a little bit of a tree trunk, and I'm going to come right in here like this. So I'm glad that I could help with this line over here. With some of you, I saw some others that had the same problem. So all you want to do, like I say, you just want to pick it up and bring it in so that this line follows this line, right? And everything just goes back to our vanishing point, right? So this is all just comes in here like this. Just put these in there quick like this, and these go off to this one. Right? But we don't need to put those in there because if you put these in here and if they're any kind of dark at all, they're gonna show up. So you really don't want to have those lights in there like that. Okay. And so you want to just overlap this, and every once in a while, of course, you could take your Q-tip and just smudge it in. Right? This is all background stuff. So let's just work right in here for a little while. We've got plenty of time. And now this has to look like it goes into the ground a little bit, right? So see, I'll go a little bit on this side. And all I'm doing is just scratching in grasses and whatnot. Make it a little bit darker. And you could drop this right off here too, right? You could drop that off, and then you could have like a little bit of an overhang. And maybe there's just something right there like that. And then that gives it something else to go around. Okay, so you could either sit there, or you could jump up or climb up. You could put some stones in here. Don't forget there's rocks. Right, so you could have those go down the hill. Here's another one. Right, and don't worry about how am I going to do the next one, because you could just go right underneath it, or you could go above it. Doesn't really matter. Just so long as your angle comes down off the rock on that same hill. Okay. Just somewhere like that. Just show a little bit of a shadow, because remember, our light source is coming in from this way, right? This is our sun coming in here. Oh, the sus. What's the sus? The sus sign shine on my own Kentucky home. The sun shines bright on my old Kentucky home. See, when you spell right, the words come out better. So, all I'm going to do is come in here. And don't worry about the rocks and stuff like that. All you want to do is just kind of like block this in right now. Come back in. You can darken things up. Maybe a little bit of a stone shadow right there, right like that. Because these aren't just going to be black You don't want to just make them all black. That'll be kind of boring. So everything you're drawing, you want to draw so it has some kind of consistency to it and gives it meaning on why it's there. Okay, and just all these little separations in between start to build things up like this. See, just those little bits like this. And I wonder how your 9-3 came out. I saw some of them, and they looked really, really good. But I just want to make sure that that you really grasp that. So that's the 10 minutes to 3. So it goes on to 10 o'clock, 3 o'clock like that. So kind of like a 10 minutes to 3. See, that's how all my drawings for the most part are based on a clock. Okay. Not that I have any kind of time or sense of time, but that's what happens to me. I see things in time. Oh, clock face, I guess. Clock face. That'd be a kind of a nice band name, Clock Face. All right, so see, okay, now, I don't know if you worked in here, but I should have, and I didn't. Because afterwards I went outside and I started burning in the burn pit. It was nice. Cleaned up all the backyard. And a friend of mine, Dick Gagnon, came by. He let me borrow a piece of equipment. That's what allows us to have this overhead view. And it's kind of like a selfie stick thing. Kind of like that, I guess, with the tripod on it. The little stick thing. So it'll work. Anyways, it gives us another form of camera angle, I guess, right? So, and this is what you're doing. Of course, you can't draw like this. You can't draw up like that. You need that. You need the dark. You need the light. You need the up and down. See, this is never done. Never done. You could work on this forever, but then if you work on it too much, then it becomes overworked, and then you'll have to go back and start looking for areas to lighten up. Okay. So sometimes you got to just what? Lighten up. Lighten up. There you go. Let's see. Now over here where we have our roof right in here. So let's come right over here where our stones are. And I have these stones here. These look like they go down a little bit further. But see what I want to do? Right up in here we have some of these bushes. And I could accent some of those darker too, like this if I wanted to. Look, look at this, see? Just that little bit. And all I'm doing is bearing down a little bit harder on that. And look how much that just shows. And see, that shows a nice indication of weeds and things that, around those farms that they're not really working anymore, unfortunately. You get a lot of those in Ware. A lot of old, broken down, but they're nice to paint. I got a couple of, up by Three Corner Country Store, there's a barn on the right side. I think it's a chicken farm, chicken coop or something, but it's all, one part of it's all fallen. I get some nice pictures. Then the other thing too is I want to paint is up in Goffstown in Penardville is that ice house. I got to do that one. And before they built the, remember the other one used to be pretty much across the street was over at where the Irving was. There was a little shack. Anybody got a picture of that? Please send it out or throw one out there. That'd be pretty cool because we could paint that. But the ice house is what I really want to do. Of course, hey, April 1st. So things happen in April. A lot of things happen in April. Let's see. Well, I'm not too sure because April has been canceled. Here's what they did. April's been canceled. So if you have any new any tidbits about April, I can throw them out here. And let's see. What else is in April? April. See, look at what I'm doing right in here, see? And then, just like in that blacker area, those darker areas in our painting, just come up here now. See how dark I did this? Go about mid, kind of like just scratch it in there. You don't want it too dark, you don't want it too light. And then take your smudger, smudge that all up there. And if you want a little bit darker areas, you don't want to do this whole thing dark again. So what you want to do is just come right up in here. And just, take your time with it. And it's very important to have all these lines. And see what's happening now? My pencil is already getting, if you can see that, it's already getting rounded. So I'm just going to grab another quick one. I'm going to put that aside, knowing that that has to get done. Look at that, it fell right on that roof line. See that? That's pretty cool. And what do we have in the background? Nothing in the background over here, because, I don't know, it just looks fantastic with that tree against the sky, the height of the top of the barn. I love that. And if you, like I say, I was going to put some mountains back here. You can, that's optional, because you have all this area to work on, right? So, and if you have any lines, please make sure you get them out. And just don't use your finger when you're going to smudge. Even in these areas, you don't want to get your finger. Let me see if I can actually make it happen. Only because this is for learning purposes, of course. So let's see if I... Okay, well, how about if I just put my thumbprint in there? Just for purpose. Now watch, it's not going to work. But watch, if it's what I say, I'm going to rub that in there, get it into the paper. Now I want to take some of that up, can I? You can, but look what's happening. Not all of it. See, like around it? Around it will come up, but not where my thumbprint was. See that? Look at that. I can get that up. Oh well. But see, you just don't want to use your finger, that's all. So use either, like I say, cotton ball, or Q-tip. I'm not using these because they have charcoal on it from when I was doing the girl's leg the other day. So we don't want to use that on graphite. And so you want to use that. Or you could use what they call the tortillum, whatever. And your erasers are your art eraser, your block eraser, or the other one, which is awesome, is called your kneaded eraser. And like I said, these get into areas, tight areas like that, because you can just shape it any way you want. Right? So if you're doing like a tear duct, do it like something like that. Okay. Don't put it in your eye. Put it in your drawing's eye. And it's really, really good eraser. Look at this. Look how quick that picks that right up. It's really, really good eraser. So I'm sure your drawings are coming out great. From what I saw, I love them. We're going to need ideas. Here, we'll go back up in this area. And so you could do just like we... and so this would be like poking with the brush. Okay, just these little areas. But if you're going to have an area where you want to show the height of the hill, you want to have a lot, not a lot, but certainly make them dark enough so that your eye sees that it's going up that hill. Okay, so, and then just kind of make that hot chart, make it rough looking, fill in little areas here and there, and just let it go down. You could connect these, see, very easy, you could connect those, so it's like a Y laying down that just fell, boom. Right? These could become shadows from that tree. You could even have, but we have this big trees, well, two big trees right here. And what we should have done, what? That's right. I should have put that tree in first, because that's what I did here. You could see that, right? And you can see that here, where I put that tree in. You can see I put that tree in first because there's no lines going through that tree. There's no erasing and then trying to fix again. Why? Because I put the trees first. Why? Because we always draw from what's in front of you, back, right? And when you paint from back to front, to here, and the tree would be our last thing that we do on a painting. But in a drawing, the tree becomes the first thing painted, I'm sorry. All right, so I'm gonna put that right back in there where it was. It seems to be pretty comfortable there. Or at least I thought it was. I hope it is. Let me get that back in here. All right. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to go right back up in this area. And then see how I kind of have like just things. Doesn't matter. Just scratch them in. But see the angle that I'm coming down. The angle I'm coming down. And let some of these go right to the house too, because you don't want to make it look like it just stops. Everything stops up there. Okay. So let's see. We're going to bring this up. Oh, there's a telephone call, which I can't take right now because we're live! Facebook Live! Now watch, it's probably something, hey, you're not even on today. So, I hope everything's okay. What happened? See, something like that throws me all off. These lines aren't good. I don't want to do that. I'm going to take these out best I could, but see, because I did it so hard, I'm glad I didn't use my finger on that. It would have been tough. See, but then I'll just come back in, make some tall grasses, make some tall ones, and just break it up. Bring some back here, make it look like it's behind there, right? And bring it back down that hill. And then you can even do a little bit of shading. Get this a little bit darker so you can see the corner of that building nice. And you just kind of, I'm going to just darken this up a little bit. Wherever you feel, you just don't want it to go back, all as one boring color. Okay, so even though it's just one pencil, you could get 12 different grades on there. Okay, and you could go from the darkest black to the lightest light, which is almost a white. But there's 12 different shades in there. And who's to say I got them all in here either? You know, I'm sure there's a few missing, maybe 5 or 6. You know, maybe I'm missing 5 and 7. Who knows? But I got real dark to real light. And that, you know, just like painting. You want to go from light, dark, because it's an illusion. So the things you put in the background become less and less visible. And the more they come to the foreground, they become more and more visible, which gives you that crispness, right? Like the crispness of this. I could work on this and go, oh, don't know, but your finger don't work on it. But I could work in here and bring this like I did, you know? So this was, like I said, about 3.5, 4 hours, I guess, of drawing with that. So let's come back in here and let's start filling in. I'm just going to do this really, really quick because these are our stones. Just to give you an idea, like I say, I'm not looking for you to do this perfect or just like me. But see what I'm doing here is I'm getting that staggered look. So I'll put another one in here. So every one at the corner meets the middle of the next one. So I'm going to come in here and sit. I'm going to sit these two on this one block. And then you have a half a block, right? Then this, and like I said, this don't have to be precise. You can make these bigger because they're belly stones and things that the farmer found to make his barn, right? So these are just big stones, whatever he finds. I know I use whatever I find too. I have, usually if I'm working in the backyard, I'll have a pile of roots, a pile of dirt, a pile of rocks, a pile of twigs. It was funny when I started building the burn pit and digging all that stuff up, was there was a whole bunch of like underneath the roots, you know, under the ground you have like all those fingery roots from all the stuff, you know, so I'm pulling that up and it was right on top, but enough that I could pull it up and get it out so it wouldn't be a tripper. And so I got that up. And then I noticed that the bluebirds were all flying around and other birds were coming around. The cardinals were coming around. They were all picking and choosing. It's like they were shopping at Goodwill, you know. So for the better leaves and the little twigs and stuff, whatever they were using to build their nest, come to find out. Because I had no clue what were they stealing this for. So come to find out, I guess they make nests out of that. And it was like Home Depot. They just, you know, back up, load up the truck, and they were gone. They were back and forth all day long. Now see what I'm doing here? I made it really, really dark back here. Why was that? Because this is your darkest part. That's where you're going in, okay? Now see what I did here? I separated right to here and right to here. So that's holding up this corner of the roof, okay? I'm going to, now imagine this is all dark in here. Okay, I don't want to do that too much. I don't want to stay on that. But I just want to show you the separation between this wall and this opening to that wall. Okay, so then here I just become a little bit lighter, right, and just kind of fill that in. I'm going to take my Q-tip. I'm just going to, well, you might as well rub this in here because that's the darkest part. That's great. Now you want to come just a little bit lighter. But because it's darker, it's going to start with that color, right? So you want to jump over there. Don't color the beam, but just come over here and look at that. Come back on that shadow like this because then that'll show. I'm going to accent this a little more just so you can see. See what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit of this with my pencil, with my eraser, And I'm just going to lighten that up a little. I'm going to over-exaggerate that so I can show you, right? But then you just come in and just pull that a little bit lighter. Look at that. And then it gets darker and darker and darker. You see that? As it goes in there. So leave this open. Here's your corner of your building. Want to accent that. And now you could, I don't know, what do we have on the other side? No, there's nothing here. Okay, so, but that's the side of our building, which I have the stones, but I'm just going to bring the dirt right up to here like this. And maybe I'll just put a bush. Let's put a bush right there. Bushes are good. Bushes hide a lot of things. And I'll put another one there too. Okay, and I'm going to do this now before I draw underneath that. I don't want to put my ground underneath it. Well, you could. You know, it doesn't matter because I could go in here like this and then all of a sudden just bring it up. And I'm going to pull this in here like this. All right, there we go like this. And see, I'm staying on that 10 minutes of 3, so I'm coming down that angle and then I'm going to come across 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Okay, and see here, I'm just going to go straight across. Let me see. And this could just be, yeah, whatever, just more grasses. And I'm wondering if we could even make another show out of this one. I mean, we have the, oh, we didn't even finish over here. Yeah, we got plenty to work on today. But see, we just go back, further and further. And you decide where you want to drop that off. You know, this wouldn't be an ocean back there. Well, who knows? Maybe it is could be an ocean underneath that. I don't know. This is your world, as the guy says. This is your place. Your imagination brings you wherever you want. Okay? So let's see. I'm just gonna. Oh yeah. So we talked about holding in that road. Now, see, you want to show where the road and the hill stop, where they meet, right? So we have these little ones. Bring these down. So this is going to come down 10 minutes of 3. Stop. Come along. Go back up 10 minutes of 3. Come back, and then you want to, when you come off this way, this is 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock. See, so just like this, I have 10 minutes of 3. Come out a little bit like this, and then 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock. You know, little pieces of grass. You don't want it all just lines like that. You want some grasses coming up, unkept, things happening all over the place, and you know, balance them so that it makes it look like it's a rough, rocky road. And you got to be careful. If you have too many of these lines, it's going to look like water, okay? Because we could turn that into water very, very easy. You know what I think we'll do? Instead of having the tree here where we should have put it first, why don't we put it on this side where before we finish our road? I think that'd be okay, if it's all right with you. All right? So, okay, so what we'll do, let's come over here. We will use these trees, though. I like those, the spininess of them. That's what I like, okay? So we're going to come right to the edge of the road. And let's do like a laying down V, okay? So here's our horizon line, right? Let's go from here. Don't even be concerned about that, but I want to make sure that you're below this line. Don't be up here with it, okay? Because we want to be below our vanishing point. Okay, so I'm going to come in and make like a laying down V, okay? Like a laying down V like that. That's going to be, right there is going to be where our tree is going to come up from. All right, so let's see. Now you don't want to come up here and do it. Why? Because you got that line right through there. Good point. Now, what you want to do is you want to put that tree in there. So let's start that tree here. You know where your road is going to be. So now where's that tree going to come? It's going to come right up here like that. And now you don't want to make like a you don't want to make like an elephant foot like that. Okay, don't do like a triangle. But what you want to do is it's thick around the bottom as the tree's coming up. And I'll show you something. So make this kind of like this, so it's thick around the bottom. Now remember, it can break off. So maybe that one breaks off, but this one goes straight up, okay? And this one can just break off. So this is a separate line. This is a separate line, but it's all the same tree. Okay. See, and what I'm doing, I'm just making this real spiny, right? So we know. And how do we connect that tree to there? Just like this. We could have another one come off there like that. That's its own line, but we know that it's all part of that tree. We could make another one come off here like this. And don't let it overlap anything yet, because this is going to become another tree. And see how we just slowly build that, and let these come together like that, and then these just become all those little finger branches that come off after. But don't use a rounded, you want a nice fresh tip on that. So let's see. See, and then you could just come up and just finger it all around. See, like that? And then you just make it nice and creepy looking, I suppose, you know. And then just come in here very, very light, never a dark hand. Again, it's not like scooping paint. Everything you draw doesn't have to be this dark. Okay, you only make it that dark because it needs to be that dark. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I'm wondering though how much more we can do with this. I mean, I'll have all this to fill in, and any areas that look like it doesn't. See, like right in here, it looks like it could still drop down, and this could be inside. Who knows? But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make that my foundation. I'm going to bring this in here like this, and there's where my land becomes there. Now, see how white this is? I'm going to take, not my finger, but I'm going to take my Q-tip, and look at that. See? And because I'm just going right over, I'm just smudging right over all that graphite that's there. Look at that. But I'm just amazed to see how much detail everybody put in there just that quick. And it's only just those lines, a little bit of fill in to give it that definition. And look at that. You guys doing a great job. I'm not did, but you are doing a great job right now. Okay, so let's see. I want to come back in here and go with the flow of your 10 of 3. Okay, you don't want to come up this way or go this way. Certainly not. Okay, you always want to go with the contour of your land, and then this way here it'll follow down. Okay, so this is going to come out a little bit flat and then fall down 10 minutes of 3, and then here's my 3 o'clock. And you could leave areas like that. Then you take your eraser. Let me take a smaller one. So then you can have little areas like this. I hope you could see this, right? But see, if you just come in here and just make little sparkles, you know, like little areas of where it's bright. And even this you're not supposed to be doing too. I should be using a brush, right? A nice soft brush, nice brand new soft brush. And you just want to, because if you have anything on your hands and you smush it like that and you start up here, maybe drag the tree, you just be careful. That's all. You're supposed to have a brush when you're drawing. But I'd like to think that I'm a little more professional than that I pay attention. But a lot of times I still don't. So remember, that building is behind there. So that's going to be a solid line, goes right through. Okay. Let's put a door. I never put a door here. I couldn't have explained to you to put a door if I don't have one on there. So just an indication. You never want to make this like with the doorknob and all this stuff. You know, don't go nutty like that. There's no reason to. I'm going to work a little bit more. Well, I'm going to come right back up in here. See how this kind of like flattens out a little bit and then comes down? Well, let's continue it right down to here. Ooh, looky there. Right? And give it the grassy look. Give it a hot shot, up and down. Break it off this way. The hot shot, look at that. And all I'm doing is scratching up and down, but I'm changing direction. Right? I could go right back in the middle, but then I'm going to bring it up the hill again. And just keep those lines nice and straight. But you want to go on that 10 minutes at 3. So you're coming right down this angle. By the time you hit here, so there's a flatness there, then it continues, and then it's flat again. Okay? Okay. So let's go back to our tree. I don't know why I got away from it, but now you just want to fill this in a little bit right here. Okay, so after, and the fingers all come afterwards. This is basically just how I usually do my trees. And let's see. I'm going to fill in that side just a little bit and get thinner and thinner and thinner, and just let it run right into the other side like that. Let it get thinner and thinner and thinner. Let it run right in is fine. And then just start fingering off all these little bit of branches. Okay, because that's what makes it. And then when we paint, we do the same thing. But then when we paint, we hold our brush sideways, right? Because we don't come in like that. We hold our brush sideways and we poke, right? And that's what gives the leaves like they're sitting on there, and they're sitting there, and then they could be sitting here, so you see the tallness of the tree and the tree trunk below it. But this right on top gives it something to hold on to. You could even show a little bit of, like, you could show a little bit of the branches coming up like that, right? And then when the branches come up, and then they can hold off like that. But then these become the leaves, okay? So let's see, that's going like that. And just play with this until you're happy with it. Like I say, and there's no right or wrong. All we're doing is just, but don't make this a big, massive tree. See, like this is getting too big. So I'm not going to make it any bigger than that, but I am going to color it in now. I'm not coloring it in so dark, because I could go darker than that, but I want a dark area anyways. Okay. And remember, our sun is coming in this way, so our shadow is going to be on this side of the tree. Okay, always be mindful of that. Because sometimes I used to put like a shadow would look good over here, but it's like, well, that doesn't make sense. If the shadow is going that way and the sun's over here on the same side, no, you want to make sure that your shadow is on the opposite side of the tree. You see what I'm doing here? I'm just going to take half the tree and just going to squish it around and just around the tree like that. Now, how do you make what do you call it there? The roots. Okay, let's see. Let me take this out of here. Let me take this out of here just for a second. We can always add to that. But let's do the roots. Oh, I should have my brush. I'm sorry. You're right. My brush. Okay, now see right in here. How are we going to make the roots? This is all the tree. Now we'll come back in here later and we'll color all that. But I want to show you the roots. Okay, so I'm going to do like a frown right here. Okay, so this is that part of the root. That's that part of the root. Now let's just kind of like bring it up like a knuckle. And then we're going to come in here, bring that up like a knuckle, and then break it off that way, and one more. Look at that. And that goes right into the ground. Is that incredible? Just that easy. You're making the roots of the trees. See that, Mimi? Just that easy. And then you break that off, and you can make hundreds of these. You know, sometimes you see all these crazy. They have one come off the back if you like. I don't care. And this is all, but you want to make sure that you erase that line because you don't want that one behind it from the ground. So you want to come in here like that, make it go into the ground, but then make the grasses come up. Then you want to shade that the right way, show it all, where it all comes in together as part of that whole tree. And then let's clean this up a little bit. So I'm going to smudge, get a clean smudger. Come right in there like this. Oh, that's much better. Look at that. You come in. And now, like I said, we just come in, do the tree. And if your tree is still too dark, you can always take your what? Take your eraser, that's right, and lighten up just one side of it. Now you can see I don't want to leave these knuckles like that on the tree roots. I don't want that. Everything needs definition. So remember, your shadow, and you have that bright spot because that is getting hit by the sun right there. But then beyond that knuckle, maybe it gets a little bit darker. In here, it gets a little bit darker. But always on the right side, on the opposite side of your sun. Always make sure that it's on the opposite side of your sun. See, and then all of a sudden you just got tree roots coming up there. Isn't that beautiful? You get rid of your vanishing line, vanishing point right there like that, and build it right into that root. Like that. We're not going to pay too much attention to this tree. I just wanted to show you how we do a tree on the opposite side, because I didn't want to have to get you involved with cutting out half your drawing. That would have been horrible. Kind of teacher would I have been. So, like I say, I think we should be almost finishing this up. If not today, then tomorrow. I just hope I'm not rushing. I know I jumped around. I jumped around a little bit. But I know times are tough right now. Everybody at the house, in your houses, be good. Help out mom and dad. Whatever you can do. Set the table. Make your bed. Always important. If you don't do anything at all, make your bed. At least you did something, right? You started the day with a chore. And that's good. But, you know, there's leaves to be picked up now. I was outside doing that for a little while. Just to think about how we were going to attack this drawing today. But yeah, I'm always outside. I love to be outside. And you know, it's a good time to show you, even though it's like a fall, October, November day, let's put a couple of leaves on here, okay? Even though, now it doesn't matter if you have a sharp pencil or not. All I'm going to do is just come in here. This makes it so much easier having it down on a table. I'm sorry you don't get to really see me today, but I'm here, okay? So just kind of feel like I have somebody looking over my shoulder all the time, but that's okay. That's all right. Monday, I don't know. I need some ideas for Monday. I'm going to go back to painting on Monday because I think it's more exciting to paint. I love drawing, but drawing is, I like to draw. I just think it's monotonous if I to show somebody. But if you have idea, if you want me to show you how to, give me a. Oh! Where am I going? What happened? Bum bum bum, bum bum bum. Boy, am I still in frame? I don't even know. Oh well. I'm gonna come back up here and hopefully I can. Oh boy, what I do? What did I do? Let me pull this all down a little bit. Is that better? Hopefully. Alright, so everything I was talking about never made sense because you couldn't see it. Alright, well, let's see. Let's take this. I'm going to put it right next to it. Where we're working right now. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you some of the leaves. Okay, even though, okay, well, we don't need that because we're working on leaves and there's no leaves on that one. Alright, so, let's see. What you want to do is take your pencil and see what I'm doing. I'm just going like the brush. Side to side, I'm just going boop, boop, boop. And see what's happening? I'm doing little clusters back and forth like this. Makes it look like there's a bunch of leaves in there. I don't know, can you really see anything? I hope so. But you guys are doing a great job. But please let me know what you'd like to paint. There's all kinds of stuff. Okay, we could even do this painting, but I don't want to do this painting again. All right, this just like I said, just to show you how to get there. All my students I showed the same way, and they all have their own styles. They look fantastic. And hello, Rick. By the way, I saw you last night. Oh, not physically, but let everybody know that I'm here. And you can, if you guys got cable, anybody in the nursing homes got cable, I'm on YouTube too. Just go into Painting with Pascucci or Learning to Paint with Pascucci. Either one, I think, on YouTube will bring you up to it. But see what's happening here? Just these little chunks, right? That's all. And I'm going sideways. I don't want to go up and down because then that would be like a weeping willow tree. Okay? I guess maybe you could have a couple that are hanging dead. So that's not too bad. But see, for the most part, I like to have it hold up. Like, it gives it a much more alive feeling. And give a little lift on the edge of them too, because then it gives like a smiley look, There you go. And there you go. See? And that's all we need right there. Now let's get rid of some of these lines. If we have some of these, time to get rid of these because they're not needed anymore, right? Be careful. Don't go over your work. Don't kill anything. Be careful. And then we have to go back to our road. So let's clean up the middle here. Oh, look at that. I almost did it again. Let me get a better brush. Ooh, there's a better one. All right. All right, now see, you can still see some of those marks in there, but I don't care. I'm going to take my cotton ball, but that's charcoal on there, so I don't want to use that. So I'm going to turn that on the inside so that nothing happens. I got a clean cotton ball. I'm going to come up here, and even when you're taking some of this, don't go sideways because you could kill your barn. Always go with the lines, okay? If you just want to pick up in the roof, doesn't matter. Just want to pick up a little bit because so we just want to throw a little bit of what's happening here? Okay. Let's see. Oh, you know what we didn't put in? We didn't put in our mountains. That's what we need. Okay, so while we're here, now see where these mountains come through? Right in the back of the building. Okay, so you don't want to go up and down, up and down. Okay, there's not Madonna mountains. Okay, what you want is a nice rolly, like the Incanunics. Okay, And the Uncanunics down in Goffstown is an Indian word, which means two breasts, apparently. So it was an Indian word from the Pascucci Indians. And see what I'm going to do now? Look at how we just soften in between, right? And look at this. That becomes the second one behind there with just that little bit of a shadow back there. Okay. Now you can make these snow capped or whatever you want to do. I don't care where you go with it, but I just want to show you how we you just don't want to have hard mountains. Okay. You not the boom 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 boom, nice and soft. Then you can come back in with your Q-tip in between, soften those in. Look at that. Go right down there. Come across, and it's going to get lighter because it's already, all you're doing is just pushing that graphite more and more and more over the paper. There we go. Okay, so like I said, pick a more of a softer. What am I trying to think? Nothing so hard to paint. All right, we don't want like a fishing boat or the Queen Mary or anything like that. You know, but just areas that nice places, a little stream maybe, a little fishing stream. And see, in here now it's just too flat. So what I want to do, I don't want to play too much around the building. I want to show it more up here. So maybe I'll show a little bit of the trees. I could show a little bit of the trees like that, and all I'm going to do very, very lightly, because this is just trees way back there in the mountains. I want to show these little bits, right? And then you just stretch those down. And just imagine when you're looking over big mountains like this, and you're way up high, and you see those pine trees, and they look like they're way down there. Now you don't want to leave the bottom like that. You want to pull those right back in. Just blend it right back in there somehow, wherever it'll go, wherever it'll fall back in. Even if you need to take a little bit of an eraser and just play here and there with that, then you could just go in. And then that gives it more shadows and shapes to look at on the mountain. But you know what I'm saying? When you have that look of all those trees like that, when you have all those pine trees back there. Ooh, and you want to go crazy. Because these wouldn't even be that big. These would be humongous if they were on that mountain, right? So even shorter would be best. So you can just take that, leave what you got, and just take off the top part. See? Just a little bit of the top part. Just like that. Look at that. And it also gives you things to look at too. So that's good. I'm going to come over to this side, do the same thing. Very, very light with your pencil. Very, very light. And then let this come back down. Whatever happens there is fine. Look at that. And just rub that right into the mountain. Very quick. Look at that. See? And then if you should go over your tree or something like that, and you soften up your tree too much, don't worry about it. You can always come back and darken it up, tighten up your sketch, and make it look that much better. And look at how that just, boom, comes right through. The darkest part would be right in the middle. So nice and dark there, and then you know that that's down and behind there. So let's bring that down and behind the mountain. And then nice and fade that off, nice and fadey. I don't know which one. Is it this one has all the... I think so. Lorraine's in a conference call today. I don't think she's going to be doing any kind of cameo today. So, I think it looks something like that. We'll make this Goffstown. I don't know whose barn that is, so we're sitting in somebody's backyard right now. We're just maybe walking through. Sorry. Actually, you know something, that the barn that I spoke of over by Three Corner Country Store, I stopped one time, I think it was about 2-3 years ago. I stopped on the side of the road, and I was going to start painting it or drawing it. I did something, and all of a sudden up come behind me a guy in a pickup truck, and he says, you know, people have been shot for less. And I said, oh my gosh. I said, the only thing I'm stealing is the scenery. All right. So I didn't feel too comfortable, and I left. So another time, maybe I'll, you know, it's great to take pictures. Then I could do it safely right to here. I don't have to worry about getting shot. And now, you know, with everybody buying guns, oh boy, Careful on that one. Careful on that one. So you don't want to be walking around people's backyards. Not these days. So if you're out painting, make sure you pretty much, well, you're not supposed to go far anyway, so just be careful where you are. Get permission. And never go on any place that says no trespassing. That's for sure. But all the good stuff is in the no trespassing sign, past the no trespassing signs. Let's see, what else we're going to do. Okay, I didn't color in all this here, but what I want to do here is the same as here. See where we have the distinction of all these. I don't want to waste time with that. So let's see, let's go back up here and see, like maybe on some of these trees, you can have a couple of, I want to get a better pencil because I need better point. So I'm just going to come up here, throw a couple of leaves on here, make these even smaller. Okay, but you want to show that those are there still. Okay, you still want to show them there. It'll give something for the eye to look at. Okay, and with the sky we could actually, well, let's see, I got lines to clean up here. Right, that was our, above our eye line. That was the top of our gazebo, cupola, the cupola. Okay, again, maybe a little bit of a windswept sky, I suppose. You see, with this one here, we didn't do any sky at all. I just left it white, and well, because I hadn't even finished over here. So that's what that is. It is what it is, as they say. So let me see, now I got to clean up these lines. I'm going to leave that there only because it's our sunspot. Okay, I want to show that we know that the sun's up here. That's our light source coming in. So see, a shadow is behind there because why? It's behind that. If the sun's over here, just imagine if you're there, it would be inside there would be dark where these two come up and meet. So leave it like that. This, of course, maybe could use a little bit darker. I wouldn't go across though, right? But maybe you don't even have to darken up. You could just darken up some of the lines like that. And that'll also just put that automatic shadow and that, cast a shadow on there and give it that darkness on the side. I'm just going to do this quick just to show you. See, and I'll do it here as well. And where else? And right to here. Nice and dark. Okay. And then if it, like I said, if it's too dark for you, then you could come in and play with the eraser and just take things out and put things in and pick things up and put them down. And let's see, so we just come in here and I really want to show, that hill, and that does do it because the hill out in the backyard is just the same way like this. It is that steep. And I cringe when the kids are up there and they got like Easter shoes on. Oh yeah, no Easter shoes this year. No, we're going to talk about Easter shoes. Who wears Easter shoes anymore? They got flip-flops. And it kills me when they're up on the hill. It's scary. Okay. So let's see. We did paint. We painted the house with the wildflowers. So we have a nice colorful one there. I have a beautiful waterfall. I got plenty of canvases. Plenty of canvases. What else should we work on? Well, please, like I said, just give me an idea, and any ideas is fine. Are fine, is fine. I need English class. Okay, now see what I'm doing. I'm gonna stay with that same angle. 10 minutes to 3. But see, I'm gonna bring it down longer because these are shorter because they're in the distance. These become longer because this is going up that hill to the house, but it doesn't start until it hits the road, right? So then when I go sideways like this, then that shows you, oh, that's where the road is. Okay, so all this gets filled in. This could be all pebbly or whatever you want to do. This could, actually, I wouldn't even put this in there because you maybe drive a tractor or something up there, you know. Keep the neighbor's car in there or whatever they do. So you could have some grasses in there. Like I said, it's all unkept. And then just smush this in. And when you're rubbing this in, I know I should be doing it with my finger, But when you're rubbing that in, you want to go down that same angle. Don't go across because you'll flatten it. You want to go down that same angle, but then when you come to the road, what do you do then? Yes, then you go across like this. Okay. And don't be afraid, like I say, in here, play with some of that light and dark. And then you come back in, nice and dark like this. And see, look at the depth is incredible. Then right down here, you can go right along the bottom, and that gives it that little lift, as though the wood is sitting up on top of that foundation. There's always that separation a little bit there. Go right along there, right along the bottom. And this is what you really want right here. This has to be really accented right there because that shows you where the side of the barn is. Okay? As well as this one. And which one? Yes, this one too. Very good. Okay. So I'm just going to continue coming down here. Come down 10 minutes to 3. And see, all back in here. What do you do back here? Well, you know something? It becomes flat. So maybe it's going to be flat around here. And then this could all be. But just like perspective. Now see, I'm going to put these lines in here flat as though this is flat. But now if you wanted to show that this is a hill coming up this way, all our lines are going up to where? Our vanishing point. But you could change it and have it come out this way. See? And then remember, like we talked about the wood slats? Right? Everything goes up to there, so that becomes our vanishing point. Don't look at that like that. I don't want you to get confused. But that could also become another vanishing point right there in front of us. So it pushes your eye over. Even though you're here, it'll look up this way here. These wouldn't be so prominent there, but it would be more like that, I suppose. So that's looking pretty good there. So it gives you the opportunity, like a fork in the road. You could come down here. Let's add a little bit more here too, so we could just see how that road comes in here. That'll just kind of, look at that, and see this whole thing now, it just becomes a composition, nice big composition. So this is a 16 by 20, I think, 16 by 20 paper. And the other one, this was 18 by 24. This was huge, but we still got this basically the same size drawing out of the pictures, out of the same paper, different papers, same drawing. Let's see, this comes up on this side, so maybe back here, a little bit here and there. You don't want to do it all, but see, you go behind some of those trees, and when you're coming down across like this, look at that. See, then your eye goes into those little pockets like that. See that? And there you go. So those are the basics of drawing. Okay, so you have that. I think that's really what I wanted to talk to you about as far as drawing and getting you started with that. But let's talk about something else too. When you're doing like a circle, okay, I think we talked about this already, but when you're going to do a circle and you want that circle to lay down, okay, so let's play with this really quick, and we'll take the simplest form. Okay, we'll take this flower. Okay, so that's that. Now, what if we had a bouquet? If we had a bouquet of flowers, then let's see. So this one is going to come off there. So that's this. That's going to be that flower. Now, with a bouquet, okay, this is right in front of you. That's the one that's looking at you. Now, what about the one that's not looking at you? What about the one that looks up here somewhere? Okay, well, with drawing, now this wants to come around. So everything, you really want to look at what you're drawing. Drawing is nothing but drawing what you see. And even though it doesn't make sense, like when I first started drawing, like floors and things like that, I knew that there was the corner of the building. And what comes after that? Then the floor came up after that. Then there was the window over there. Then there was this window. But everything has to follow, these lines have to follow this line, has to follow this line. Okay, so now see, this one is looking up this way. This one is looking right at you. Let's see. And so as you come down around to here, see, then we want to show these petals. And now these petals are going to get a little bit shorter as they come around. They call foreshorten. See? And if we were using paint, you would see this a lot better. Okay? So this would be, that's the button of the flower there. That's the button of the flower there. And then, see, then you have this one. Another one of those little flies. Ah, is it that time already? Come on. We got ants and ladybugs. Now we got the little flies coming in. Well, the weather's been getting better, so I suppose it comes with it. Just don't let the corona in. See? I see the different angles you could get off there. So when you're doing a circle, okay, there's your circle. When you want to lay that down, just like the V's when we're crushing the V, like that, you just squish that circle down like that and make like an oval. See, and then this way here, when you do this, what are you doing? You're making a hole right there. See, just take that bottom half, you're making a hole right there. Right? So if you walked around there, you're going to fall right in that hole. Stay away from that. Okay? Let's see. Drawing a box, of course. You know, you got your 4 corners. And then there's that. And you could change that angle too, because then, let's see. There's that box there. So you don't want to change that. That'll come up here like this. Look at that, how simple. That already became one. And look at this. Now you want that to go back there. You don't want to show the connection there, but just like that. See? The only way you would see the connection is if you were straight, and then you would see the side of the box, you would see the top of the box like this. See, that's perspective. The top of the box in perspective, that's the front. And then if this was on the back, you know, like show this one, you would see this, you would see that, and that like this, and then that would come down like this. But see, if I had, yeah, but you would see all of this too, except for this part. But see, that's what I'm trying to show you right there. Just enough to show you that it goes around the corner. Just these illusions, right? So it looks like you could take a step up and a step down. And that's it. So let's get back to, let me just show you this real quick. I think I'm very happy with the drawing today. You know, maybe just come in here, play with the dirt a bit. You could have a little bit of a windswept sky if you like, very lightly. You could just make these lines up here. Take your cotton ball and just kind of sweep it across. Be careful of your drawing. Be very mindful of that, because you don't want to crush what you've just done or destroy any beautiful lines. And look at that. 3 hours. We did a fantastic job. I want to see some more of your work. And then see, as you come down here, you could just get a little bit wider. So you would just want to come down. So just imagine that you're standing right here in the corner. Okay, so you're standing right there. You could go up there, or you could go down here. This is your crossroads. This is your crossroad today. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Well, it looks like it's going to be a little bit windy today, so it won't be burning. So it looks like it's time to bake. All right, everybody. I'll see you later. Have a great afternoon, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have your paints ready, and water, paint, brushes, all your brushes, all your paints, and we'll decide what we're going to paint when I see what you guys want to do, okay? So let me know what you guys want to paint, and that's what we'll do tomorrow. Okay, good night, everybody. Thank you. See you after the news.